Hi, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Mindwatch. I am Dan.
I am Thomas.
And we have a very special guest with us today, and that is Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
A returning guest at that.
Yes.
That's true, a returning guest.
I have been away a long time, but I am so excited to be here.
And actually, we've been away a long time, and we are so excited to be back as well.
Yeah, when was the last podcast that we did?
Well, funny that you should say that, Thomas. But Mindful Me has done some incredible growing over the past couple of months. And our podcast series has really changed. So remember, Thomas, that we used to have 3 podcast series?
Yeah.
Now, sir, we have 5 at Mindful Me.
Wow.
Wait. Wow, we're expanding. Look at that.
We are expanding.
So that's almost double.
I know. Well, Mindwatch is still here with us, which we're really excited to continue. And
we're still the same peeps.
We are still the same peeps. And we're still talking about the same fun stuff. And then we've got a new podcast series called TBH, and that is with Tatiana, Bianca, and Hillary. And they're going to talk about all sorts of fun and exciting things, including natural ways of healing and essential oils and just, all these great topics that they're going to talk about. And we've got Jonathan and Fernando and Alexa, who are on 2 different podcast series, but now they've combined to one called Midnight Chats. And that one's going to focus a lot about college and stuff and really neat things around that and what spurs from that. And then we've got Brendan and his dad, Daniel, and they are having one that is called 365, all about mindful nutrition and all great things to do for your body. And then our last podcast series is called Ben's Den. I'm so excited for this one. I'm really excited for this one.
I love the name.
Don't you? I love the name. So published author Ben Polsky and his sensei are going to be talking about some great topics, including a lot about that mind-body connection. So that is going to be an exciting podcast series. And then, of course, you'll have us again, Mindwatch.
Yes. All very exciting.
I think ours is the best, just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
But every Thursday, guys, a new podcast series is going to be dropped, and it'll be on Apple Podcasts and, of course, Spotify. And we have everything through Zencast. So we're really excited about all the things that are going to come up. And, of course, our YouTube channel and being posted on our website, mindfulme.org. That's mindful with 2 L's.
So a lot of exciting stuff happening.
We are. A lot of great things.
We're really excited. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And if Thomas sounds a little strange on this podcast, he is remote.
Yeah, well,
so.
talking about lots of changes. Since the last podcast, I actually am not physically in Florida anymore. I actually ended up moving to Atlanta, Georgia, to continue my career in acting and film and TV and theater and whatnot. So that's an exciting change that's happened.
Yes, which is an excellent segue into our topic.
It is.
Yeah, I was just going to say a nice segue into what we're going to talk about.
But what's really cool is that, Thomas, you already have filmed you've already been on a movie set or a TV movie set, right? A Tubi original?
I did, yeah. So recently, this past week, it was actually my first time being on a movie set, because prior to that, most of my work had been done in the theater, which I still have a lot of love for the theater, but I booked this through Backstage, which is a website where they post cast listings. And I booked this background role. Nothing too crazy, don't get too excited, but it was still a really cool opportunity. I got to go on a movie set. I got to see how things operated there, because it's very different from theater. I got to learn a little bit of the lingo, and I also made some really cool connections. So I honestly, if you asked me what the name of the movie was, I can't tell you, because, I have to, I signed an NDA, so I can't really say much about it. And even if I wanted to, I don't know much about it, because they did a good job of keeping everything pretty low key. But yes, it will be on Tubi. So we'll know more in the future. But yeah, it was a really fun experience, and I'm glad I kind of got that first sort of nerves experience being on a set out of the way. It was a really cool one.
So I think it's really awesome, and you did have a little bit of a featured part, so we're excited to watch that when it comes out. But I think one of the neat things is, and you and Ryan and I were talking about this earlier, and really over the past couple of months, this idea of change and this idea of growth and this idea of moving forward in your life is exciting, right? Like you were just on your first movie set and you've moved to Atlanta, which is a fantastic city,
Yes.
right? And, Ryan has started 2 new ventures work-wise, and I have started a new venture as well with Ryan work-wise, and it's exciting, right? But it's also a little terrifying.
Yeah, change is always people it's just human nature to be afraid of change because changing is going into the unknown, and that's perfectly normal. But as somebody once told me, a good way to look at it is not as I have to do this or I'm being forced to do this, but I get to do this. So
yes,
look at it as something new and exciting, and it's going to be awesome. And if you can keep that attitude in mind, it definitely helps.
It does. It really does. And everything that Ryan said is true. And I love what Ryan just said as far as like it's a get to versus a have to. But there's something like, Thomas, let's take your situation. So you have been living at home, right, with us for your entire life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? So at 25 years old, you get this incredible opportunity to move to Atlanta. And it's exciting, right? Because you get to move to Atlanta, which Atlanta's a great town. You have graduated from college with your Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting and a musical theater concentration. So you're already learned up, if you will. And now you get to go and explore Atlanta and explore opportunities within your field. So all of that's exciting and all of that to get to, right? Because these are all the things that you studied for. You worked hard through middle school and high school and really hard in college. And you have all this training with private voice and private acting teachers and all the things you got in college. And now you get to move and you get to experience everything. So even though this is a massive get to, and you're really excited, but there's nerves involved too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I kind of want to go back to, so the day you guys dropped me off at my apartment, it was like all this planning and all this momentum building up to this one very moment. And I guess I just haven't really thought about the actual moment itself when I truly, fully realized that I was on my own in another state, in another city. So when you guys dropped me off that night and like you guys left to go back home, it was totally just like a surreal moment. Like, wow, this is exciting, but like it's kind of overwhelming at the same time because, for a really long time, pretty much my whole life, I was so used to living a certain kind of way. And then all of a sudden, like things changed just overnight. And it was just like, wow, it's a lot to process, but I'm excited for the journey ahead. And there's definitely things that I've been doing along the way that have been kind of helping me keep me level-headed. One of those things is definitely meditation. I actually started meditating a lot more since I've moved. I'm not going to lie, I haven't been as good as recently as I'd like to, but ever since I moved to Atlanta, it's been helping me a lot, kind of keeping me level-headed. Because, you got to find a job. I'm a big boy now. I got to pay bills. So
welcome to adulthood.
That's right.
Yay, adulting.
And the other part is too, you get
this
to.
is funny. My girlfriend and Tali and I were actually joking about this the other day. It's just so funny the things you get excited about as a kid versus like as an adult. Like we were telling one of our friends, like, oh, we love our new vacuum cleaner, and she's like, who are you guys? You guys like your new vacuum cleaner and going to Trader Joe's and stuff? I'm like, yep, that's just adulthood right there. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just going to say, honey. You guys get to not just go on this exciting adventure and explore professional opportunities, but you get to kind of create a home for yourselves. And that's a big deal, like getting your first vacuum cleaner is exciting.
It is. And
that's the only time you'll be excited about getting a vacuum cleaner, I can tell you.
You guys got a Shark vacuum cleaner?
Yeah, Bree bought it for us. So every time we clean the house, like today, we like to call it our Sunday reset days. And now, obviously, when I get a job and everything on work, it might have to change up a little bit. We have something called Sunday reset, which is where, we make breakfast, we clean the apartment a little bit, we tidy up, and it just feels like a nice refresh for the week. So it just honestly, like you feel mentally better once once we clean the house or the apartment a little bit. And it just truly feels like a nice reset before the week starts.
That's a really cool tool, right?
But I wanted to throw that in
idea.
there because I figured that would like pertain to what we're talking about a little bit.
It really does. Like when you kind of build in, and I think one of the things for me, when we have new opportunities and you get scared. So sometimes, and that's perfectly normal. And for everybody that's listening, anytime you start something new, it's exciting but scary at the same time. So obviously meditation is huge. And I think meditation every single day really helps to empty your mind and center your mind and helps you to kind of look at some of those fears as, okay, I know that they're there, but I have a way to handle them and a way to move with them and through them, right? We don't want to ignore it, right? What you ignore is what you resist persists, right?
Yes.
So let's face it, let's acknowledge it, let's move with it through meditation. But sometimes when you build in routine into your life, it really helps to center you as well, like your Sunday reset days.
Yeah, it's very grounding.
Very grounding. I love that.
Yeah, and having a routine, it kind of gives you something to do every day so you know what's going to happen throughout the day instead of just like second guessing or like, oh, great, like what do I have to do today? Yada, yada, yada. So it kind of, having a routine definitely helps, like especially in my mental health, especially when I know what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis.
It does, because it does, and it can get very, overwhelming. It
stacks up.
Right.
Yeah, that nervous excitement you feel, it's there's a couple things that can happen with it. You can either channel it into a positive way, into helping you focus on what you want to do, or you can let it overwhelm you. And there are tools you can use to keep it from overwhelming you. There's organizational tools, there's meditation, I was going to say one thing that I actually started doing a little bit more recently. I'm going to continue to like build on it, but I've actually started kind of like laying out my weekly, like I bought this like little weekly planner offline and I just kind of write down what I think I'm doing for the week. Even stuff that's not set scheduled. Like with my job, I work a certain amount of hours per week, but I started to add it in like reading time, and I started adding in like time to just like browse on Backstage and apply for certain productions and stuff like that. That's those are great tools, honey. That's we've started doing that too. Dan and I have just discovered the calendar app on our phone.
We've known it's been there. Let me clarify. We've known that it's been there. We started to now use it.
Yeah, we're actually using it instead of just looking at it for the date. So we're just scheduling, and it doesn't have to be a meeting or anything like that. Just things. We use it as a to-do list almost. Even things like just like things you like to do, like reading, like you can add things like that in there. It's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, I said I would give myself some time to read to kind of like feed your mind with knowledge or inspiration or whatever that may be. Yeah, it's very important because you have to balance out. If you focus too much on trying to work and you just concentrate solely on one particular goal and you're working yourself to death, you're going to burn out. And scheduling things like, meditation, reading, I don't know, going in the pool, whatever it might be.
Exercise, right?
Yes,
right.
Going to the gym,
That's going to help recenter you. It's going to help you relax. And then you're going to be better for when you do go back and tackle that project or whatever it might be.
So let's refocus then for a second, because I love everything that we have said. So let's kind of not refocus, but summarize. So when we may have changes in our life, and everyone's going to, it could be, like I said, it could be a new job, it could be moving, it could be going away for your first time, it could be a new career, even if you're going from being like when I was a lawyer and I went from being a lawyer to being a teacher. That was a huge shift. It was moving careers, not just jobs. So I think that, we've looked at meditation. We have looked at building in some sort of routine. We've looked at scheduling yourself so that, when we can take this nervous energy and we can make a schedule, life seems less daunting. And we have also, looked at things like exercise and yoga and different ways of moving that energy and kind of reaffirming to ourselves how much of a joy this experience is going to be, and maybe taking away some of the fear.
Yeah, and there's one thing I want to add on to that. One thing I've actually, like Tali and I have started doing since we moved to Georgia, is we've actually found a lot more nature trails, and we've been going on like more hikes and stuff. And one thing I've noticed, especially when we're going on these hikes, is how connected I truly feel to nature. Because especially when it's just you walking through the woods and it's super quiet and there's like little beams of light coming through the trees, you can feel everything around you. You can feel the life around you. You can feel the insects. You can feel the trees. You can feel whatever other wildlife is in there. And you truly feel one with the universe, but also nature around you. So that's one thing that's also helped me feel mentally cleansed, especially since moving here, is going on walks. And also at the same time, you're getting exercise too, so you feel really accomplished afterwards.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to unwind, especially because you're living in such a big city. It's easy to get disconnected from the natural world. And like you said, walking on those hikes or, going into nature in whatever form you want to, it does kind of help you reconnect and bring you back down to earth, so to speak. And it's
and I think that was one of the tough things about the pandemic, is because we were all inside, we didn't really get to go much out and explore. So we were all kind of forced to just kind of be in solitude.
Yeah, everybody went a little crazy. So.
Yeah, a little stir crazy.
I love the idea of connecting with nature, Thomas, and I think that's a really great idea, because when you feel overwhelmed in a change or when you're making a change, being able to ground yourself and being able to refocus yourself in a quiet place like nature that energy always seems to help you quiet the mind and really focus on the things that are positive. So, no way in any shape or form at this point, Mindwatch or any of the podcasts that are on Mindful Me are sponsored by anybody. We don't get paid by anybody. This is our thoughts and, basically what we think and individually. But I want to recommend something to our listening audience out there, and this is the something that Ryan and I gave to you, Thomas, and that was this app called All Trails. So All Trails is a free app that no matter where you are in the world will find different nature trails for you, and it will give you reviews on the nature trails and the difficulty of it, like from easy to really, really, really hard. So if you are in an area like we are, Ryan and I are in South Florida, there's not any mountains here, but there are definitely nature trails. All Trails has it for us and tells us where they are in the difficulty. Thomas, you're up in Atlanta. You got tons of mountains around you. You've been able to find lots of different trails, right?
Oh, yeah. So the one we went to recently is actually a little bit outside of Atlanta in Marietta, Georgia. And it was about a 30-ish minute drive. And it's truly cool because, like you said, you can look at the difficulty of this. I even saw some trails. This was nuts to me. I even saw some trails that were like 18 hours long. I'm like, who's doing a trail for that long? At some point, I wouldn't even see that as mindful. I would just see it as absolutely brutal. But
but for some people, that could be extremely mindful.
Yeah, absolutely. Me personally, I like the max I'll probably go is like 3, maybe 4 hours. But yeah, anyways, I digress. But yeah, so recently we went to Marietta, Georgia, and we went to, I think it was called Chattahoochee River. And like you walk along this river and you go up into the mountains a little bit, and it was very scenic and it was beautiful. Did I almost twist my ankle because it was really rocky? Yes. Did I still have a great time, and did I also feel connected with nature? Yes.
Well, now you know that you got to invest in some hiking boots.
Yeah. I did. I was wearing my Timberlands. That's why I was just like, whoa.
But you sent us some pictures of that hike, and it looked absolutely beautiful.
Oh, no, it was gorgeous. It was definitely, we've only been on a couple hikes so far, but that's definitely in the top right now.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you go explore Stone Mountain because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
We will.
You're in a really nice part of the country.
The background role that I had was in Stone Mountain. So
oh, that's right. That's right.
And driving around Stone Mountain, I'm like, wow, this is really nice. It feels very like open and very woodsy.
So, Well, I am really excited to be back with Mindwatch with you, Thomas, and you, Ryan.
Yes, thank you for having me back.
Oh, you'll be here a
Good.
lot.
So good to be back.
Yes, and Ryan, you will be with us a lot. We're really excited. Hope everybody likes our new artwork. All 5 of our podcast artwork is done originally by Tatiana Horsky, and she is an incredible human being that's going to be part of the TBH podcast. And we will podcast with you guys again in another 5 weeks. So you'll hear Mindwatch in another 5 weeks. Please stay tuned for next week for our inaugural TBH, and then after TBH, the inaugural Midnight Chats, and then after that, the inaugural 365, and then after that, the inaugural Ben's Den, all the way back to Thomas and I with Mindwatch to bring you some other fun and exciting things, and of course, updates on everything that is Mindful Me.
Yes, lots of new ventures and lots of new beginnings.
We have so many incredible things on the horizons that Ryan
We
and I...
are expanding.
Oh, we really are. And Ryan and I are working on a project right now that is really neat. It's really awesome, and we can't wait to give you updates on that as things progress.
Yes.
So, Ryan, thanks for joining us as always.
Thank you for having me.
You always make our podcast better, so thank you so much.
Well.
Yeah, it would just be all right with Dan and I, but
Just all right.
You just made it better.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right, guys. Happiness to everybody. We will see you in 5 weeks, or you will hear us in 5 weeks. Spread the word. Remember everything Mindful Me, mindful with 2 L's, me.org. Our new meditations come up every single Monday. So we just had a new meditation on imagination. This comes out on Thursday, so the Monday before this on August 1st. We had our new imagination meditation that came up, and we look forward to giving you more stuff, bringing you more stuff. And again, remember, like and subscribe, and if there's anything you'd like from us, please let us know, and you can email us through mindfulme.org.
And thank you all for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.